names and flavors. Anybody that's non-Orthodox, and they have their own. Okay? And I stress our people. Our people. Okay? The Chazon Ish is very elaborate, and this is what he says. And once again, you check me out. Chazon Ish, Laws of Shechita, 2nd chapter. You can see it all right there. First, the Chazon Ish says, whereas sinners were subject to capital punishment in the generations of the prophet, the Holy Temple. If you live in the time of a prophet and the Holy Temple, and if a person willfully transgressed Shabbat, you see the Torah tells about it, about Mekoshesh Eitzi, guy chops down trees on Shabbat, or the story about the person that they cursed. And you can see capital punishment. When is capital punishment? When Hashem is right there. It's no doubt. Emuna? You don't need Emuna. You see Hashem right there. You see the miracles in the Holy Temple. Right there. And with the miracles, with Hashem in our midst, willfully transgress Shabbat, boom. Oh, okay. So the Chazon Ish says, at the time of the prophets in the Holy Temple, yes, capital punishment. He says in this generation, the Chazon Ish, how long ago did he die? 60 years ago? 60 years ago? Exactly. He says in this generation, he's talking about our generation, you have to understand the Chazon Ish, what he passed in, this is everything, it holds today. We hold by the Chazon Ish. Okay. He says, in this generation, to all these sinners, not only no capital punishment, he says we all have a solemn obligation to reach out to them. Chazon Ish. It's not just what Rav Shalom Auer says to bring people close. This is a Chazon Ish. Chazon Ish al Hashita. Okay, number one. Number two, Chazon Ish rules that any Jew who fails to observe the Torah, yet declares that he's Jewish, cannot be regarded as an apostate, but merely as a Jew who sins. And even though he sins, still a Jew. In other words, you see a Jew doing anything, and you say, hey, my brother, are you Jewish? He says, of course I am. That's it. If he says, of course I'm Jewish, and he admits he's Jewish, he's not apostate. Tinok Shenishba. Okay? Third, the sons and daughters of non-observant parents are deemed as anusim. Anusim are people that were coerced. You take a prisoner of war. Prisoner of war, he eats non-kosher food. Either that or starve. Halacha says if it's that or starve, you're coerced. And we do not receive reward or punishment for coercion. This is the Ramchal in the 1st chapter of the Ways of Hashem says that free choice only makes sense in the light of perfect balance between good and evil, not in coercion. So anytime a person is coerced, this is called an onus in the Gemara. And in Aramaic, the Gemara says that if a person is coerced to do something, he's exempt. Someone comes at gunpoint, to go and break the Torah. Okay, 3 things we're not allowed to do to gunpoint, and that's idolatry, illicit sex, and bloodshed. Not allowed to do that. Anything else? Somebody put hold the gunpoint and threats going to kill you if you don't eat a McDonald's hamburger. Okay, the halacha says to eat the McDonald's hamburger. The guy's really going to pull the trigger. So the sons and daughters of non-observant parents that didn't have the benefit of a Torah education, says the Chazon Ish, they're coerced, they're anusim, and therefore they have the status of tinok shenishba. Okay. So before anybody looks down at anybody that they want to judge sternly someone that doesn't uphold the Torah, uphold all the Torah, hold it. You got an argument with the Chazon Ish right here. Okay. A tinok shenishba, a baby in captivity, but everybody knows by now what tinok shenishba means. A tinok shenishba enjoys all the privileges of Judaism. Chazon Ish stresses his sacrificial offerings are accepted in the Holy Temple. If Baruch Hashem, in another minute, we believe that any minute Hashem's going to build a Holy Temple, We got to start loving each other, or else forget about it. Okay. And not only that, we must violate the Shabbat to save the life of a Tinok Shenishba. Which means the fact that the Chazon Ish deems that every non-observant Jew today is a Tinok Shenishba, it means that every one of us must do everything possible to save his life, including violating the Shabbat. All right, someone said no. The guy, something I saw with my own eyes. In Bnei Brak, a guy was riding a motorcycle on Shabbat, and he hit an oil slick. Okay, and he had what do they call it? He had a wipeout. He had a wipeout right on Jabotinsky Street, the main thing. And people walked by, and they said that's what he deserves for riding his bike on Shabbat. That's not a law. That's not a law. Okay. That young man, right now, you're on the way to shul, you don't go to shul. If there's nobody else to help him, you give him first aid. And if there's nobody else around, grab a phone from somebody and call emergency. It's Tina. You gotta say this is the ramifications. Sure, people don't live halacha. It's a Chazon Ish. Hold it. We're not finished yet. This is the way we regard, according to halacha, every one of our brothers and sisters that are not yet observant. Okay, you think it's only the Chazon Ish? Every major Sephardi posek, every major Hasidic posek, every major Litvish posek holds the same thing. Okay, the Lubavitcher Rebbe held that way. I know from my own Rosh Yeshiva, Reb Noach Weinberg held that way. From the head of our religious code, one of the greats, the English-speaking poskim is my beloved teacher, Rabbi Yitzchak Berkowitz. He holds this way. Okay. Rabbi Yitzchak Berkowitz mentioned he did shivut by Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach plenty of time. Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach held that way. Okay, everyone concurs with the Chazon Ish's opinion. Okay, so now